Hello, welcome to the channel Omni Sparky. My name is Johnny. I will be playing Fairy Control on the left, and my beautiful girlfriend Aisha is on the right. She's playing her Lightning Aggression deck. She's going to start her turn by using a Nest Ball, and she will be getting Thunderous. Gonna be going back into the deck with the Professor's Letter. Pretty good start going turn 1, going first. Alrighty, I'll draw for turn. And I'm seeing a really good opening hand. I'm going to start off with this Trainer's Mail, and I get a tag call off of this. This is, as long as Guz Mahala is in the deck, it is the absolute most ideal start for Fairy Control. Here we are. So we're going to be going back in, discarding 2 cards to get a special energy, a stadium card, and a Pokemon tool. And throughout this video, if you don't see anyone shuffling, don't worry, we're not cheating. This match is actually way longer than the YouTube video. I spent a lot of time just cutting out the in-between. But yeah, just don't worry at all. Everything's good to go. You might see us glitch a little bit, but that's just a cut in the video. So I'm going to bench this Robo Substitute and attach Capture Energy. Going back into the deck with Artisan. And we bench Cutiefly and Swirlix. Sorry about that glare there. It gets better later in the video. And for future videos, we will find a better spot for the camera, so we have less glare. We're going to end our turn using Technical Machine Evolution, targeting Cutiefly and Swirlix to evolve into Slurpuff and Ribombee. And Ribombee is the absolute most important piece in the deck, in my opinion. It lets us do control things while stopping the opponent from interrupting our gameplay. So Aisha's gonna go into the deck, get herself a Shinx using the Artisan. Get a U-turn board there. Looks like she's got a really aggressive setup. Ooh, that Canary, discarding that Super Rod. This is exactly what the deck likes to do. Turn 1 or turn 2 attack, and getting Canary as your first or second supporter. So we're going to get Zapdos, Zebstrika, Flaffy, and Mareep off that Canary. We'll bench Zapdos and Mareep. And we'll retreat into Thunderous, because Dynamo has free retreat. Thunderous will get in there with Gigantibolt. Notably, Aisha will not take a prize card because RoboSub says your opponent cannot take any prize cards for knocking it out. So I'm going to go into the deck and get myself a Cleffa. I'm going to use Teammates since RoboSub is a Pokemon, and it does proc that effect. And evolve into Floetti. And a Flower picking away one of her cards, and she shuffles it back into her deck. And then I will offer that Cleffa up as a sacrificial lamb. Though I was not able to disrupt her, so she is able to evolve into the Mareep and the Zebstrika. And that Sprint will discard those 2 cards, so she can draw 4. Going into the deck with an Arven. Let's see what Pokemon tool item she gets. So it's going to be a Floatstone and an Escape Rope. Thunderous will take both Cleffa and itself out with its gigantic Volt attack, and we will both take a prize card. And notably, she did not burn that escape rope. So my angle going into this turn is that escape rope is the one thing that can get around Rabombi. So I really want to force her to burn it this turn. So that's what my game plan around this turn is going to be centered around. Playing Gladion to get Florges out of the prizes. I believe this is the second best card in the deck. Just really necessary to make everything work. Going into Clefkey for this turn. And Wondrous Gift will flip a coin. If heads, we put an item card from our discard pile on the top of our deck. Slurpuff's Tasting will let us draw one card. Here we are. We'll attach this double turbo energy. This will reduce our attack by 20. And we're going to use Fairy Lock. So it'll actually do 0 damage to this Dynamo. But Dynamo cannot retreat. So she's going to have to burn this escape rope if she'll want to KO this turn. Or to just attack. So she'll evolve into the Shinx into the Luxio. And use Dynamotor. So she's not too wary about killing herself with Thunderous, just because with Flaffy set up, that energy is not going to stay in the discard pile. I'm going to use Artisan to fail it. And here it is, exactly what I was going for. If she wants this item lock with Luxio, she needs to burn this escape rope. Exactly what I want to see. I could have promoted Rabombi because it has free retreat costs, but I really don't want to put this thing in the active spot. It's the glue that keeps the deck together. Luxio will go in with Disconnect, 30 damage, and Item Lock. Draw one with Slurpuff. We're going in with Cynthia and Kaylin. We're going to discard Mr. Mime. We're not going to be needing Bench Barrier for this matchup. We're going to get back that Team Flare Grunt that we discarded earlier. Draw 3. 3 items. Unfortunately, can't play any. So we use Wondrous Gift, and the reason we didn't use this at the beginning of the turn is because we're item locked, and we knew that if we flipped heads, which we did, we wouldn't have been able to use what we got. But we'll put that Robo Sub from the discard on the top of the deck. Flaffy's Dynamotor will put an energy from the discard pile onto Zapdos. And a Hands Hammer will get rid of our Klefki's double turbo energy. A pesky discard, but that's why people run Enhanced Hammer. So we're going to see Aisha retreat Luxio into Zapdos. Go in with Thunderbolt for 190 damage. And notably, the Curse Shovel that is attached to Xerneas will discard Lysander and Night Stretcher from Aisha's deck. And we'll draw into that substitute. I'm going to Wondrous Gift again and put an item card on the top of the deck. And draw straight into it with Slurpuff's Tasting ability. We'll reuse that Trainer's Mail. We're going to get a Versus Seeker. And you can kind of see that the engine is doing its thing. We haven't quite set up a lock, but we are recurring resources. Alright, we're going into Teammates. I'm gonna get 2 cards from the deck. Gonna retreat into this Robo Sub and attach a Rescue Scarf to it. Rescue Scarf says that if the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out, instead of hitting the discard pile, the Pokemon will return to the hand. See a Dynamotor back onto that Luxio. I explained to her that she could play Hex Maniac, but because of the Rabombi's ability, that it will only affect her Pokemon and none of my fairy Pokemon, so she opts to keep it in her hand. Alrighty, Wondrous Gift is going to get in there. And here it is. We're going to see that Versus Secret go right back to the top, and Slurpuff's Tasting will dry right back into our hand. Since we're behind on prize cards, we are able to activate Lieutenant Surge's strategy, allowing us to play 2 other supporter cards in the turn. I'm going to start off with the Peonia. I know the other doll is prized, and that's primarily what I want out of this Peonia. And we have 1 more supporter left to use. And Team Rocket's handiwork. Flip 2 coins. Double tails. Somehow that feels worse than Timer Ball. We're just going to pass the turn from here. Ash is going to look at the top 4 cards of the deck with her own Trainer's Mail. We will get a Marnie. And let's see if she plays it. Alrighty, so she'll play it. And it looks like she didn't shuffle her deck, but that was cut in post. We both shuffled our decks. And I drew 4 cards and she drew 5. Now she's going to check her prizes here. Unfortunately, the camera does not pick up what is in her prizes, but I do recall her saying that her prizing was exceptionally bad this game. We'll see the attach here, and she's hesitant because she knows paralysis does nothing to the sub, but she ultimately keeps it there because she feels like she'll need to either attack again or retreat. So using Ultra Ball, you can't see the discard, but she does in fact discard a Morpeko and a Guzman Hala, and she gets that Luxray. I think we're gonna see a sprint. And Aisha will end her turn using Thunder Wave. I will begin mine using a Wondrous Gift. I love this ability, I love this engine. Look at this. This is the 3rd time I've played Trainer's Mail in 1 game in a GLC match. It just doesn't get better than this. Pass the turn from there, setting up a big turn next turn. We'll see the Dynamotor go charging up that Luxray. And ooh, 4-card discard off Sprint, but unfortunately she cannot use those resources. She needs more. The Speed Energy will help her draw 2 more cards. She's going to be really careful though, because she knows the name of the game is preserving her resources. Just a pass from her. Going into my turn. We'll see that Wondrous Gift ability off Florges. It's a fail, but we will still see the Tasting ability off Slurpuff. And this is my 2nd round of Surge's strategy. And notably, that on the field is not a Zerosix Machinations, but I actually don't own a copy, so that's just a Japanese Bruno that we gentleman's agreement to act as a Zerosix. And I will countercatcher up her Flaffy. I know you can't see it, but I promise it's there. And we are going to Lost Zone that float stone attached to her Flaffy using Lost Vacuum. And we are hoping we can keep this Flaffy stuck in the active for a few turns. There we go, we see a heads. Ooh, that Ampharos from Chaos Rising. Beautiful illustration rare, but I don't believe it's going to hit the board this game. And heads up play by Aisha, Phil blowing her own U-turn board, so she can attach it to Flaffy, retreat out, and get that Luxray back in the active spot. I expect we'll see a Dynamotor after this. Look at that. Just like that, Zapdos is back to 300 energy. Alrighty, Luxray is getting in there. Wondrous Gifts, I see heads or tails. It's a heads. We're gonna put the Lost Vacuum up and draw right into it with the Slurpuff. And I think you know where this is going. We're gonna Lost Zone her U-turn board, so both are retreat tools in the Lost Zone. No way of getting them back. Gonna Guzma up the Flaffy, and here it is, the name of the game. And notably, right before that Guzma, I do manually retreat Ribombee into Climax, so Guzma could bring Ribombee back into the active. My thought process here is, since Ribombee has free retreat, as long as it doesn't die during Aisha's next turn, I can bench Lily's Pokédoll and send it right back into the active so I can be a little safe. Aisha is going to Palpat back Marnie and Mallow. After shuffling her deck, she will do a big sprint. And here it is. She rips the Mallow and Lana, and my greed is coming full circle. Luxray is going to get in there and send Ribombee to the discard pile. I'm going to promote Klefki and draw for turn and see if we can still muster the win. Of course, we got to start our turn by using Florges' Wondrous Gift. Fortunately, it's a Tails. Slurpuff will still get in there using its tasting ability. Feeling a bit afraid here, so I know Yellhorn is in the deck, so I'm going to get that off Arvin. And once more, I'm not progressing any of my board, but I'm really trying to stop Aisha's. I'm hoping to spread the tail flipping onto her board and maybe buy a turn or two. Just to pass from there. Ooh, Zebstrike is the gift that keeps on giving. Aisha chooses Zapdos initially, but instead goes with the Dynamo because it has free retreat and she can go right back into that Luxray. Luxray once again wild charging another Pokemon to its kill count. We'll promote Slurpuff, and its tasting ability will actually draw 2 since it's in the active spot. Pokegear, I'm praying for Diantha, and I do rip it. Diantha says if one of my fairy Pokemon was knocked out last turn, I can grab 2 cards from my discard pile and put them in my hand. One of the best supporters in GLC. I'm gonna get Countercatcher and Robo Sub off Diantha and try more stall tactics. Nothing else to do here, so I will just pass the turn. And ooh, 4 cards she got from Zebstrika is really carrying her. First Seeker for Guzma will bring Slurpuff to the active as well as Luxray. Aisha here is also resource managing. She's not doing too much. She's taking many knockouts and she's already down to 1 prize card. She needs to be careful. She's down to 3 cards in deck, so this is down to the wire, folks. Starting Rare Candy off Cynthia and Kaylin. I'm going to get back Guzma. I feel like it's either that or Team Rocket's handiwork, but gotta go with the guaranteed play. Just a pass from here. Let's see if she has it. Nope, just a straight kill with Luxray. And we will Guzma her Flaffy up after checking the deck with Nest Ball. 2 cards left in decks, folks. It's a path from here and pray she doesn't have it. Attach a counter energy for turn. If she's able to retreat next turn, the game is hers. A lot of thinking going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Aisha will play Volkner. Whatever this card is, she cannot grab, but she's hoping it's an energy. And it's a pass from here, folks. I will use Team Flare Grunt to discard an energy attached to Flaffy. And I think that's it. She'll draw it to her final card and just pass from there. And I will pass, and she has no cards to draw into. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Down to the wire, 1 prize card, and we're both geeking. This was such a fun game. Many misplays on both our parts. We're not super competitive players, but we're here to have fun. So here is the fairy deck that I played. This is based off Z-Man Cuddle's control fairy list. It's 2 cards off from his, so I put in Curse Shovel and Luxurious Cape over Battle Cage and Stealthy Hood. Shout out Z-Man Cuddles, he is goated. And this is Aisha's Lightning deck. At the top is a different She's actually using the Chaos Rising Ampharos. Unfortunately, Cardboard Warriors has not put that set in. But try both lists out, and Aisha did create this list all by herself. She's super proud of it, and I'm proud of it as well. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.